Today we're making a rich, juicy, savory pie with all the red Caribbean flavors and textures, and I am going to show you how to make this. Let's go. Get your potatoes to boil in some water and salt. Then wash your kalaloo. And the next step is very crucial because you're gonna leave that kalaloo sit in some water with some salt. And what the salt is gonna do, it's gonna release the dirt and any potential worms, allowing you to have clean, sandless kalaloo. Now next, your seasonings. When you're cooking with me, you really don't need much, okay? With a handful of garlics and onion and hot pepper, you can make the most delicious Caribbean meal ever. And a little tip, it is so much easier to peel your garlics after crushing them. After peeling, you're gonna cut them in tiny pieces as small as you can, and then repeat the same with the onions. Peel it and cut it as small as you can. This portion of the ingredients is for the eggplant slices. Garlics, a small onion, and a little bit of hot pepper. You just want to add a little spice. Now the bigger onion will be used for our steamed kalaloo. I also added a few pieces of hot pepper in the kalaloo because I just like the spice. Now let's first start with the kalaloo. I like to caramelize my onion and hot pepper for almost every dish because I believe that the spices and the flavors come out even better when you caramelize your onions beforehand. Now allow your onions to get slightly brown before you add your kalaloo. For the kalaloo, I squeezed out the water and then chopped it in small pieces and then add it to the pan. We're gonna bring more flavors to the kalaloo by adding 2 vegan stock cubes. You can also use Himalayan salt and some sweet Surinamese soy sauce. You can use any sweet soy sauce, but I love to use my Surinamese seasoned soy sauce. And if you want to make it healthier, you can even add coconut aminos instead of sweet soy sauce. Your caramelized onion and hot pepper is already adding so much flavor to the steamed kalaloo. Next, you want to close your pot and allow the kalaloo to take its time and steam. And then you can move on to the potato base. In a bowl, you're gonna add your cooked potatoes along with some oats and then proceed to mashing everything together until completely smooth. And remember, you cooked your potatoes with salt, so you don't have to add that unless it's really necessary, and I did, so it was necessary. I also added some paprika powder and then continued mashing and mixing everything together. Once you're done with that, you're gonna add your potatoes to an oven dish. I had no other dish than this, okay? It was way too big, but I had to work with it. I added some oil at the bottom so it doesn't like stick to the pan, and then I added my mashed potatoes. And what you're gonna do is pretty much spread everything out and shape it into the size of potato pie that you would like. And I would say that it was about 2 centimeters thick. Now after shaping, I placed it in the oven at 200 degrees and allowed it to do its thing. Checked up on my kalaloo and it looked like it was almost ready, so I allowed it to cook a little longer without the lid so that some of the water can evaporate. While that was cooking, I proceeded to cutting my eggplants into thick slices, and then in a pan I started caramelizing my onions, garlics, and hot pepper together. Let it fry until slightly brown before adding some sweet soy sauce to the mix. And once that sweet sauce is added, you're just gonna allow it to cook and caramelize even more with the sauce and allow all the flavors to just merge together. As you see the sauce bubbling up and becoming one, you're gonna add your eggplant slices to the mix. Add a little bit of water and let it all just cook. The potato has been in the oven for about 10 minutes. Now we're gonna add our kalaloo to it, spread it out nicely, and make sure every single part is covered with greens. And whatever is left of your vegetables, you can just put it in a container and put it in the fridge or the freezer because tomorrow is another day. Now once everything is covered, you're gonna take your pan and put it back in the oven and let it continue to do its thing. Okay, now check up on your eggplants, switch them over or turn them over or whatever you want to call it, but we're gonna switch sides, okay, so that the other side can also cook. Now after I switched sides, I added a cover of black soy sauce to add that rich color. Gosh, I gotta find the words. And then I added my favorite mix of spices, homemade mix. And it consists of rosemary, oregano, paprika powder, Himalayan salt, and ginger powder. And what you're gonna do is every 5 minutes or so, you're just gonna flip them over and just make sure that each side is nice and brown and has this rich color. And at a certain point, you will see the sauce getting thicker and thicker and completely merging with your eggplants, allowing them to be nice and juicy. Once your eggplants are done, you're gonna take out your pie out of the oven and then stack those eggplants on top of the caraloo and then put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes. While that's in the oven, you're gonna make your cashew dressing with cashews, garlics, and turmeric, and a little bit of salt. Blend everything until completely smooth. And then I took a little pan and warmed that up so the sauce can get thicker much quicker. And then when that cooled off, it was nice and thick and ready to be used. I layered it as sauce, pie, and then sauce again. And I tell you, the colors, the textures, the flavors, mwah, match in heaven. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next cooking video.